Center. Nice. Hey, Ken Flood here from Warne Scope Mounts. I want to talk to you about a rifle I just put together for my wife for deer season. Taking a little bit different approach than a traditional hunting rifle for her. Where we hunt over a large field that's about 400 yards by about 300 yards. And rather than putting her in a tree stand, which would require her to more or less shoot offhand with a lighter hunting rifle, what we do is we kind of build a platform, like a table, build a blind around it, and then we range the entire field and build a range card. So no matter where the deer are in the field, we know what the range is. We can dial the scope and aim dead on. The goal behind this is just to try to achieve ethical one-shot kills. We're applying long-range technology. So rather than use a traditional type hunting rifle, we're going to be using a heavier barreled precision type rifle in a chassis. We're going to be shooting it off a bipod, and we're going to use elevation corrections with the scope to dial precisely to the distance of the deer that we want to engage. I've been doing this for a number of years, using this type of equipment, using this type of process to hunt. To me, it makes more sense. I'm a lot more effective than if I'm using, a thin barrel, lightweight gun up in a tree stand. It doesn't matter. I feel comfortable engaging deer out to about 500 yards. And this system, I think, for her is going to be allow her to be very successful and confident in her ability to harvest deer. So what we're looking at here is a Aero Precision Solus competition rifle. It has a chassis. It's a magazine fed. It's 6.5 Creedmoor. It's a fairly new rifle from them. What I really like about it is you can change barrels, you can change bolt faces, so you can change calibers without having to buy a whole nother gun. They sell a barrel vise kit, so you can spin this barrel off, spin something else on. You can go to a different breech or a different case head size. They make a different breech head that goes into their bolt. So it's a pretty brilliant design. The bolt's a 60-degree throw. It's built off of a 700 pattern type action. The rifle comes with a TriggerTech Trigger. I've put a TriggerTech diamond in this gun because that's what I put in all my precision rifles. Allows me to get the weight down to about maybe about 13 ounces, which I'm convinced is critical to being able to achieve the best accuracy you can. If you've got a heavy trigger and you're trying to shoot tight groups and squeeze accuracy out of a gun, you can't do it. You got to have a light, very, very light trigger in order to do that. So also on this rifle, we've got in my opinion, the best glass that you could possibly get. It's a Kahles K318i, so it's a 3 to 18 power precision scope. It has a ballistic reticle in it, and it's part of the Swarovski family. Kahles is the tactical side of Swarovski. This is held onto the gun with a Warne Skyline one-piece mount. This mount is really unique in the fact that there are 10 different spots on this mount where I can put an accessory. And on this gun, I've got a deployable level, and then levels are very important for shooting at long distances. And I've got a data card holder, and the data card holder is really nice because I can write my dope on the card. I can Velcro it on right here, and without having to come off the gun and look at an armband or whatever, I can just look up and see what my corrections are and then be able to dial for that. This data card holder will also work to support the new Garmin Zero chronograph, and we'll be working on a version of this. So you can add that to your mount, or you can buy a universal data card holder type mount that'll go onto any scope tube. So really great platform for mounting a scope. We have a cantilever version for gas guns. We're gonna have a diving board front cap that'll cantilever out over the objective end of the scope. We'll have that really soon, so you could utilize the new Vortex rangefinder. A lot of different rails and things that you can attach to this mount. So it's a brilliant design. We've had it for a number of years, and it's very popular with those that run it. So the rifle uses AI pattern magazines. I'm using a PMag 10 rounder with the Warne 4-round extension on the bottom of it. It's a great setup for this rifle. The rifle has an adjustable comb. I think comb height and cheek weld are paramount to accuracy. If you're not being able to get a cheek weld that's repeatable, the rifle is not going to have consistent accuracy. You're always going to be fighting it up and down. So adjustable combs are super important in my opinion. I also have the ability to adjust the length of pull for this chassis, and that's important because my wife's not real tall, and so I can adjust this in. I had to bring the scope back a little bit to accommodate her length of pull, but it fits her perfectly, and she shoots it real well. We've broken this rifle in. We've run some rounds through a magneto speed and got a average velocity, and I'll also have her shoot some 100-yard groups just to kind of show you what the rifle's capable of. So fantastic product. On this rifle, we're also featuring the new Warne Lite Bipod. This is the ARCA version that fits on the ARCA rail that's built into the bottom of the forend of this chassis. And I'm running a dead air Sandman-esque can. It's the suppressor I run on pretty much everything. Most of my rifles have a dead air bayonet style muzzle attachment, so I can run this on my 5.56 guns. I can run it on my bolt guns. I usually just leave the aperture at a 6.5 aperture in the strike baffle, and it just works great. So this is a group that my wife shot with the Aero Solus and 6.5 Creedmoor. This was 6 shots with the magneto speed attached to the gun. This is right after the barrel break-in. She was shooting off of an electrical spool from a modified prone position standing. She wasn't, seated. She didn't have a real great rest, but that's an exceptional group. That is for her not having a lot of experience with precision bolt guns. Good job.
Thanks.